Приветствую тебя, мой милый друг. Мы продолжаем играть за Stanley Parable, и я предлагаю пройти дальше. Мы с тобой спустились в тот загадочный проход через вентиляцию. Давай посмотрим, что у нас здесь. Новая локация. А самое главное, что наше ведро с нами. Грустно, конечно, что его вернули. Мы же его так отчаянно спасали. Здесь везде разбросаны кассеты. Что здесь написано? Чего? Диалоги нарративные какие-то. А в чем прикол?
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful. Because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get me. What's that? Who's there?
Охренеть вообще! А ну-ка, давай еще раз, только без Дра. После такого телефонный звонок? Все нормально, это мы уже слышали. Так, бежим, 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 бежим. Я очень хочу посмотреть, что будет, если зайти без ведра. Интересно, а что это за тварь пришла за тем чуваком, который был с ведром? То есть, чем чаще мы берем ведро, тем больше шансов того, что за нами придет вот это вот существо? Или как? То есть, вот это ведро, оно необычное.
That it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Не дал досмотреть. Ну смотри, разные концовки получились, разные концовки. Хорошо. Знаешь, что можно попробовать сделать? Мы можем забрать еще одну статуэтку Стэнли. Мы можем сходить к тем двум дверям. Красная и синяя дверь. И забрать статуэтку. Ведро не ошибается, хотя меня... После той тайной комнаты это ведро меня начинает очень сильно напрягать. Я надеюсь, за нами не придет какое-то чудовище.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Знаешь что, давай сделаем так, как говорит ведро, мне стало интересно. Зараза, подкупил. Почему мы подчиняемся ведру? Какого черта вообще происходит? Ладно.
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Это что, ведро? Это ведро! Так. Не открывается. А где мое ведро? А, вот. Привет, Стэнли, это я, ведро. Нажми G, чтобы взять меня на работу.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Я поняла, следуем за ведро. За ведром. Возьми меня домой. Так.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Так это ты мне сам это ведро подсунул. Это знаете, когда у человека проблемы с алкоголем, и вместо того, чтобы его ограничивать, народ наоборот, давай с нами.
Well, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Не слушать громкого человека. Нажми X, чтобы мы пошли домой. Ну не X, а этот... ну ты понял, короче.
He's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
А кто эту кашу заварил? Кто эту кашу заварил, а? Кто эту кашу заварил?
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Ты ведь веришь, что я существую, Стэнли? Нажми F, чтобы вернуться домой.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say?
Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Так, чтобы снова переживать этот день со мной. Хорошо.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Нажми Б, чтобы пойти со мной на работу домой, на работу домой. Ну, давай.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No, 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 no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Какого черта? Что происходит? Здесь везде свечи. 0:13. 12:13 ночи.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Возвращайся на работу, Стэнли. Что сейчас, мать твою, произошло? А где ведро? Ведра нет.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
Мы
simply
подрались
missed a memo.
из-за ведра. Похоже.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
Комедия. Мы видели, чем в прошлый раз это все закончилось.
What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
А теперь практика. Господи.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian.
An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, with each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Все?
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Ну, пошли. Смотри-ка, в этот раз ничего не ломается. Ничего не рушится. Забор. Так. Ну, а теперь я здесь с ведром. Кстати говоря, здесь даже ручки нет. Они ручки сняли. В прошлый раз то же самое было. Вообще выйти невозможно. Хорошо. В этот раз заработает эта вся тема или нет? У нас теперь есть супер ведро. Может быть, супер ведро нам поможет? Поможет как-нибудь. А что с ведром? Я так и не поняла, разрабы вообще продумали этот момент или нет. Окей, прошлый раз нас ни к чему, к сожалению, не привел. Я думала, если будет ведро, то, может быть, что-то из этого получится, но нет. Ладно. Пробуем еще раз.
I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now.
Да уж, что мы без него бы делали?
That's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. I don't need to overthink things.
Хорошо, что ты теперь от меня хочешь? Все по старинке, да? Возвращаемся назад? Так? Он как-то... Он резко замолчал. Меня прям напрягать начало. Почему это он замолчал? С какой стати? Да. Прям как-то неуютненько стало, когда он замолчал. Обычно он говорит без умолку. Так, хорошо, мы вернулись.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Угу, да, конечно. О, чё тонько!
What? We're back at the phone already? No, what's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land, or not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video.
Нет.
Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready?
Не, все нормально.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Ну, ты же знаешь, что я буду его мучить до тех пор, пока... Смотри, а теперь уже не темно. Теперь я уже заранее знаю, что там телефон.
What? We're back at the phone already? No.
А, все то же самое, и нас обратно телепортирует.
You ready?
Ладно.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Пошли так, как он говорит, потому что нас все равно назад.
You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Господи, замолчи, да я переведу тот кусок, который был без субтитров. Что?
It's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly
Уже титры кончились.
That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
Все? Он договорил? Нас обратно телепортируют в нашу комнату, да? Да, значит, тот кусок, где не было субтитров. Если коротко, он начал бубнить на Стэнли, что тебе нужно было зайти не в левую, а в правую дверь. Тогда бы я пошутил про телефон. В общем, Стэнли, ты дурак, ты все испортил. Куром насмех, что-то такое. Надо было в моменте переводить, я уж половину забыл, что он там наговорил. Но, в общем, он говорил, что Стэнли дурак. И все ему испортил. Как обычно, во всем виноват Стэнли. Я хочу сделать замечание разрабам. Но это косяк, что они не сделали Стэнли с ведром, я считаю. Потому что надо было поставить модельку Стэнли с ведром. Они взяли старую сцену и просто наложили новый текст актера озвучания. И еще кусок не был переведен. Так, что мы делаем опять? Пошли к 2 дверям тогда.
And he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
И что ты замолчал-то? Ты будешь что-нибудь говорить? Ладно.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
О, новенький поворот. Подожди-ка, получается, что все вот эти двери, которые они оставляют, это типа задел на будущее? То есть чисто теоретически мы можем... Ну вот смотри, мы пришли вот сюда, мы здесь уже были. Здесь есть дверь, там есть дверь, в которую бы мы, по идее, пошли бы. Еще есть вот эта дверь. То есть, возможно, будет деусиха, и мы пойдем в эту дверь. Ну, чисто теоретически, я предполагаю. И чего? Так. Интересно. Это ведро.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Викторина!
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Чего?
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Блин, это сколько раз мне придется переигрывать здесь?
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Я поняла, значит, получается, мы сейчас будем все время да отвечать, а потом будем все время нет отвечать. Поменяется
Item
что-нибудь?
3. Is this a bucket? Correct.
Да ладно.
This is a bucket.
Серьезно?
Item 4. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
Надо будет точно переиграть. Надо будет точно переиграть.
Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Почему? С какого? С какого? С какого это ведро? Ты издеваешься?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Да кто ж тебя знает?
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Чего? Что значит? А то есть до этого и да, и дед не прокатывала, когда была 3D-модель?
Hold on, I can't find the next one. Let me see, it should be around here somewhere.
Так. А я могу сойти с панели? А я... Нет, я не могу сойти. Не могу сойти.
Yes, thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with.
А, я не могу
I'm afraid
ответить.
the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
В смысле?
What
Ты
happened?
что?
Is everything gone? Why did
Это
everything
ведро?
disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what. I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Я думаю, нет смысла переигрывать, но нам точно нужно будет попытаться пройти еще раз в те двери. Я думаю, теперь, когда мы выяснили, что вся игра это ведро, наполненное маленькими ведрышками, я надеюсь, что мы сейчас пройдем. Нет. Почему?
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless... What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't?
Серьезно, нельзя с ведром.
Explain a lot about your behavior.
В общем, я пошла без ведра для того, чтобы забрать статуэтку. Собственно, вот она вот здесь. Вот она.
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Все, мы получили все статуэтки. Мы это сделали. Ну, я не вижу смысла дальше идти, потому что мы там уже были. Ладушки, я предлагаю на этом серию закончить, а в следующей серии мы продолжим дальше наше путешествие с ведром, потому что больше нигде, насколько я помню, не было дурацких табличек, которые нас ограничивают брать нашего железного друга. Большое спасибо тебе, что досмотрел эту серию до конца. Оставляй свой комментарий под видосиком, ставь лайкосик, подписывайся на канал, не забывай жмякать на колокольчик и смотреть в описании под видео, там есть ссылка на плейлист, а также на расписание серий. Также ты можешь подписаться на мой телеграм-канал. До новых встреч! Я буду очень ждать. Муа!